sociolinguistic project. Anyone have idea?
No, I don't even know how to start it. Ali?
No, I have no idea at all.
I don't understand at all question. Oh.
I also can't understand it well.
So everybody here doesn't understand the project itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
You tell
Absolutely.
us.
What kind of group is this?
You tell us.
So I have to explain it?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Why always me?
Because it's only you who understand it.
Yes.
Well, but anyway, where's Agi?
I don't know. I didn't see
In your
it.
bed? In your bed? Oh, it's impossible. It's there.
Where's Agi? I'm
Where
here.
you went?
Our group is complete. Agi is here now, and you want me to explain the project, right?
Yes.
All right. Our project of sociolinguistics is we are searching for English varieties around the world. So yes, around the world. So I think it's gonna be a lot, and it's gonna be easy because it's a lot of English varieties around the world.
Between nations.
Of course, between nations. For example, I'm taking Spanish English or Spanglish. So all you have to do is just pick, or you are searching for the one of those varieties you like. For example, I'm like Spanish, so I take Spanish English Spanglish, and you search how it's used and where it's used, just like that, and then you explain. You wanna more clear about it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, take a look at this example.
Well, hello, Alice here, and I'm here to explain you about Spanish English. Spanish English is a part of English varieties around the world. There are so many English varieties such as Canadian, Caribbean, Cantonese, Singapore, Malaysian, Russian, and etc. But I choose Spanish. Why I choose Spanish? Because I like Spanish. Yeah, I think Spanish is marvelous. Well, according to Oxford Dictionary, Spanish English or Spanglish is a hybrid language combining word and idiom from both Spanish and English, especially Spanish speech that use many English words and expressions. So we already know that Spanish English or Spanglish is a hybrid language that used by the Spanish people, which speak in many English words and expressions, and combine it become a hybrid language called by Spanglish. And Spanglish is used absolutely, of course, in Spain. Yeah, you already know by the name Spanish English, Spanglish, Spanish, Spain, used in Spain, and people there use Spanish English in informal situation, like in the market, in family, and in daily conversation between friends. But in formal situation like university or in government, they use general English, not Spanish English. And one more thing you have to know about Spanglish is learning Spanglish is not as easy as learning English or learning Spanish, because you have to learn both of them and combine, become one, Spanish English. And I think my friends will tell you what you have learned to speak Spanglish correctly, because I can't speak Spanglish absolutely, but I know something. If you wanted to speak Spanglish, you have to know 3 steps in a beginner. The first step is ping-ponging. Why it's called by ping-ponging? Because you are speaking English and Spanish, speaking some word or expression and combine it become one, like a ping pong, like a ball ping pong pumping in table. Boom, 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 boom. Here's the example.
Observe.
I went to the store to buy some bananas, but they were all sold out. Fui a la tienda a comprar unas bananas, pero ya no quedaban. Fui al store a comprar some bananas, pero ya estaban sold out.
Right? And the next is Spanish drag. My friend will explain to you.
All you have to do is take the English word and dress it up in Spanish drag. Here are a few examples.
Voy a Google it. Lo voy a googlear.
And the last is Spanish aggressive rapid rapid aggressive Spanish or RAS. My friend will show you how to do it.
Observe. Aquí viene wannabe.
Mira que busted looking. Cree que sabe que he's so annoying.
I don't know. ¿Crees que sabe they smell como un smelly foot todo el tiempo?
Are you guys talking about me?
Oh yeah, mind your own business, please.
Mira este wannabe tratando de eavesdrop en nosotros.
No wonder nadie le gusta.
Qué mal cae.
Guys, I understand you. I speak Spanish.
Uh-oh. Looks like your strategic English landed you in a little bit of trouble.
Guys, that's my example. Everybody get it?
Yeah.
So I think you can do it easily, right? It's just making a video blog.
I think Canadian English is suitable for me.
Hello, my name is Amalia Petrani. I choose a Canadian English. Many variation of Canadian English we can find it, and the first thing I find it is about this word. I say about, most North Americans say about to figure out while I take a fascinating look at the words of Canadian accents. The way I thought it's a particularly strong example of what people who study this short both think called the Canadian raising phenomenon. This refers to the word way many Canadians pronounce the house sound in words like house and down and run and south. If it sounds annoying to me, the idea is that Canadians have a tendency to raise their tongues in their mouths when they make sound as I just did, right? Then when I said mouth instead of mouth, which is when you keep your tongue down lower in your mouth. Not all Canadians speak with Canadian raising, and certainly most don't do it as much as I do, but it's a pretty common phenomenon as you can see in this montage of clips of random Canadians talking.
I am absolutely unhappy about it as well.
Stressed out, but don't worry about it, because here's what's going to happen. We're going to get drunk and eat chicken fingers. Me, you, and the old man is going to be here in about 20 minutes.
A matter of planning, and of course being a mom is all about routine.
Well, think about it. 10 years ago, the price of gold was maybe $300.
So you can see some Canadians say it about, some Canadians say it more like about. Some people say it's somewhere in the middle of those two, and cars, let's just say it the normal way. Okay, that's it. And the second is a crosswalk. So in the street, when you have the white lines, Canadians say a crosswalk. And the third is when the Canadians want to express the fact that need to go to the toilet or go to the bathroom or washroom, they said I'm going to use washroom or use the bathroom. Because if they are said go to the toilet, like it's almost giving too much information. So they are never said to go to the toilet. Okay, and the fourth is when we want to go for a picnic, in Kamali we said, oh yeah, good idea or a good shout, but Canadians say good call, good call. Okay, and the fifth is Canadians call football to be a soccer. Okay, maybe that's all some example of variation of Canadian English, but you can find more about variation of Canadian English. Okay, that's all. See you.
Yeah, that's it. So how about you, Alicia?
I think Indian English is good.
Oh.
I already have a concept. I think it will be like guys, and now I'm going to tell you some information about Indian English. For your information, the British arrived at India in the early 1600s. English spread in India through Christianity, and it is accepted as the language of government, social elite, and national press. The Indian English has developed a number of dialects. It is influenced by different languages that different sections of the country also speak, side by side with English. So we can easily know when someone in India speaks English in any dialect, we can also know what is the social-linguistic background of the speaker. And in Indian English, they have many varieties of Indian English, such as Malayali English, Maharashtrian English, Punjabi English, Bengali English, Hindi English, alongside several more obscure dialects such as Butler English, aka Bearer English, Babu English, and Bazaar English, and several code mix varieties of English. So, what are the variations of Indian English? Here are some variations of the Indian English. The first one is the Indian English speakers often use progressive tenses in their daily speaking. For example, if in general American English we have I believe you, the Indian English speaker will say I am believing you. Another example is in general America they say she likes music. In Indian English speaker they say she is liking the music. And another variation in Indian English is the Indian English is full of unique coinages. For example, in general America they say restaurant. In Indian English they say hotel. And also in general America they say woman harassment. In Indian English they say if teasing. And the third one is the Indian English influenced by the phonetics of the native languages. The first variation is retroflex trilled R, or we can say that the R in their speaking is clearly pronounced. For example, when the general American said entertainment, the Indian English said entertainment. So the R is clearly pronounced. And another example is when we say garbage, and the Indian English will say garbage. So, and the second one is the VW merging. For example, when the general America say, "What is your name?" the Indian English will say, "What is your name?" So they don't say the W, the what clearly as what, but they have V and W merging become what. And where is it used and how is it used? The Indian English is the only reliable means of day-to-day communication between the central government and the non-Hindi speaking populations, especially with the Deccan or South, where millions speak Dravidian or non-Indo-European languages such as Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, and Malayalam. Yeah, and English in India is widely used in business, in higher education, and in scientific research. Here is some example of the use of Indian English.
It's actually proper English. So it's not accent, it's proper English, simple.
Yes, pretty much, but it has nothing got any problem with Indian people as such, because that is the way we talk.
So for you it is normal, right? Your accent?
Yes, it's normal.
As an Indian person, were you aware that foreigners often make fun of the Indian English accent?
Yeah, it is actually like when I have not personally encountered the situation, but my I have cousins who live in the US. They speak that US accent of English, but still they get judged. Like this person looks Indian, and people, I don't know why. It's basically racism, and it's just.
A few moments later.
Aha!
What, Agi?
God, Agi, you are surprising us. What is it?
Hell yeah, America!
It's me, Agi Apaludin. I will discuss about general American and English variety, one of English variety around the world. The general English American English language is the standard of international language, which is different with other English varieties around the world, but it's almost similar with the British language in literature, but obviously in accent or spelling it's different. You know, the difference between American English language and British English language. Let's see the difference. In the differences between American and British, it's in daily conversation, their conversation in the nouns, in the spelling a noun, in naming a noun, it's different. Such as in American, it's called hoovers. In British, they call vacuum cleaners.
You know what we call vacuum cleaners in England?
I have no idea.
We call them hoovers because of the brand Hoover, but because
See the differences between American and English in British from the collective nouns. They American calls a band as a singular. It's a singular, although it's a group. For example, they said the band is good, but in British they call it plural. They call it, for example, the band are good. Is auxiliary verb. We can see also the difference from the auxiliary verb that they use. American use will, for example, I will go home now, but British they use shall, such as I shall go home now, or shall we go home now, but Americans say should we go home now. Next, we can see the difference between American and British from their past tense verb. The American use suffix ed for past tense verbs such as learn with suffix ed, but British usually use suffix t in the end. So you can say American learned and British sounds learned. The last, we can see the difference between American and British English. We can see from their spellings, such as before and before. American omitted the u in before, and British use u in before. And another example, we can say that color and color, neighbor and neighbor.
an example of a unnecessary use. Favor, not favor.
Okay, what about
Neighbor, not neighbor.
labor?
Yeah, labor, not labor or labor. So you guys spell it.
What color?
Color. But then I suppose, yeah. I mean, neither of us are pronouncing it correctly.
What is the correct pronunciation of color?
Color.
How about you, Faisal?
Yeah, how about you?
I think I will try Manglish lah.
What is Manglish?
Manglish, Malaysian English.
Ah.
Don't be worried lah.
Ah.
Make it easy lah.
Okay, that's a good example. How about it?
How about it? I will try to think it.
Imagination, I will explain about the Manglish. What is Manglish? Manglish, sometimes we know that Manglish is the Manglish or Manglish English is an English based on the Pidgin and Karawa spoken in Malaysia. So the Manglish, it is a Pidgin Karawa spoken in Malaysia in informal way, in informal situation. The vocabulary of this kind of English, we say about the Manglish, is kind of the varieties of English is from some nation or some languages consist such as English, Malay, Hokkien, Mandarin, Cantonese, Tamil, Malayalam, and so on. Another nation that I don't know exactly another nation which is English included the Manglish. Why? Because you know that Manglish in Malaysian era that is many people that comes from wherever she is from what kind of nation. Because I don't know, but basically the vocabulary is just come from the English, Malay, Hokkien, Mandarin, Cantonese, Tamil, Malayalam, and so on. But basically the we use here is focus on the Malay and English, and that is the Manglish or Malaysian English. It's really different with the Malaysian English. Why? The Malaysian English, what the people say is in an informal way. So like in a school, when there is a business with another, they will say that correctly in Malaysian English or British English with the good standard English. But the informal English or Manglish is we use in informal way. Wherever we are, whenever we want to talk about with our friends or our family, or what we want to go to the market and buy some food like bananas. Take for example, okay? According to Dr. Ling, when Dr. Ling is go to the market, regional markets, whatever is in Paktuala, he will say that I'm sorry sir, how much this 1 kilo of banana? The seller we said that cakap apa? Why? Because that's not understand correctly. We will say in the right way, in different way. Why? Because it's very weird to our friends or to another people which is not education backward or less educated. Why? Because the real English, the British real English or Malaysian English is didn't happen for the educated and more educated, but the Manglish is less. And the seller is would understand. But when we change our words into how much this banana 1 kilo, they will understand it. Why? Because this is very different. You will see the difference between the first sentence I said and the second sentence I said before. This is the key. And the English is come to the Malaysia and is from the colonialism era, except between the 1963 until 1965. They don't use the English language as administrative language in their nation maybe. But before that and not at that time, that use the English language as administrative language in the colonialism era. So in the 1968, the Malaya or the Malaysia have their own English. Here is the Malaysian English that's come in Malaya.
It's a kanji, I guess. I don't know, I've never heard of it before, but...
You've never heard of it before?
No.
Congee?
Yeah.
We call porridge in Asia, we also call it congee.
I would call that a risotto.
I don't... nothing.
You know what it is?
No.
You know, like rice with a lot of water.
Like
So it's
risotto.
rice, like fish patch rice.
Yeah, so, I don't know what that is, but yeah. It's not so Western, it's very Asian though.
But that's why I don't know it. And me either.
It's a really difficult picture for
Yeah, I
you.
thought it was ramen, but now that I'm looking at it...
Ramen?
That's a rubber.
That is a rubber.
That's an eraser.
That's an eraser. I mean, we call it rubber too, but we...
No, rubber is not, that's not a rubber. It rubs something out. It
It's
erases.
also made out of rubber.
Also in English, rub something out is also very different.
Dạ,
Do you have any idea?
I think I'll choose Australian since I like Australia.
That sounds great.
Well guys, I'm going to talk about the variation of Australian English. Australian English is relatively homogeneous when we compare it with British and American English. There are two varieties that I'm going to talk here. The first is sociocultural varieties and regional varieties. The sociocultural varieties has three main varieties of Australian English. Those are broad, general, and cultivated Australian English. General Australian English is the most common of Australian accent and is used as a standard language for Australian films, television programs, and advertising. If you know Julia Gillard, the ex-Prime Minister, she's a good example of this accent. This is the video.
Those people that's been so in your world, you know, my whole lifetime, that you feel like you know her.
I take the video from Aussie English channel, you can check it out. Next, broad Australian English. This accent is familiar to English speakers around the world, but it is especially common in rural areas too. So, the diphthongs are usually pronounced longer as well. The example of this accent is Steve Irwin. The third is cultivated Australian English. It has in the past been perceived as indicating high social class or education. It has some similarities to received pronunciation and translated accent. But in recent generations, it has fallen sharply in usage. However, the cultivated usage of A in place and I in price have been integrated into the speech of some the speaker of General Australian. For the example of this accent is Kate Blanchett.
Well, no, I actually grew up in Melbourne, and then I came to Sydney to go to the National Institute here, and then got catapulted out, and I thought, well, I'll give it 5 years and see what happens.
Next variation is regional variation. Although relatively homogeneous, some regional variation in Australian English are notable. The dialect of English spoken in Western State, where the majority of the population live, differs somewhat to the spoken in South Australia and Western Australia. The regional varieties of English can be distinguished in terms of vocabulary and phonology. We are going to talk about vocabulary first. The example is the in South Wales, swimwear is known as swimmers, and in Queensland it is togs, and in most other areas the term bathers dominates. We can see the differences, right? Now, the phonological term. The majority of Australians use a as in bed in words like chance, plans, range, sample, and demand. And some, however, use a as in card in this word, particularly in South Australia.
You have a brilliant idea. That's good. It's excellent and well done.
That's our video. Hope you enjoyed it.
Hope you understand it. And don't forget to
Like, comment, and subscribe.